Well, what's all this then? Dragon Quest XII, you say? And here I was beginning to think we'd never see the day of its glorious unveiling. It's now been half a decade since a game was formally announced with naught but a mere logo. But now, at last, we've been blessed with some actual concrete info. And by golly if I don't have some opinions about that one single minute of footage they released. Let's start with the graphics. Back when Dragon Quest XI was announced, I thought it was one of the most beautiful games I have ever seen. The jump in graphical fidelity between it and the last mainline console game to be released outside of Japan, Dragon Quest VIII, was night and day. Obviously, 12 is nowhere near as big of a step up in graphics from 11, but still, it's impressive that despite us living in the hellscape of modern gaming and the death of graphical evolution, the environments managed to look immediately noticeably better than they do in Dragon Quest XI. And I love how it's just instantly, recognizably Dragon Quest. It wouldn't be Dragon Quest without those same red and blue rooftops you see in every game. And here it is, the most exciting shot in the trailer. Yeah, I'm a sick freak who gets a frightening level of enjoyment out of exploring the towns in this series. To me, that alleyway right there screams adventure! Okay, no more beating around the bush. Let's talk about those character designs. From the reactions I've seen online, they seem to either be love it or hate it, with most people leaning towards hate, especially towards the protagonist. I even heard some people say they physically recoiled upon his reveal. As for me, I'm just glad he looks so different from the usual protagonist. I mean, look at that Android 16 haircut he's rocking. And also, look at that weary expression, those dark circles under his eyes, and that look that says, I only get 5 hours of sleep per night if I'm lucky. I've never related to a character faster. Then there's this cool dragon man who I thought was another party member, but upon closer examination, it seems he's most likely the same guy. The hair is pretty similar, and while the outfit isn't exactly the same, it's close enough. The biggest tell, though, is the sword. It's literally the same sword. So, based on the fact that this game will deal with dreams, it's a safe bet to say that the Dragon Man version of the protagonist is his dream world persona. Also, the game revolving around shenanigans of the unconscious mind would explain those dark circles. Then there's this cool tatted up biker girl, and I don't know, man, I think she's pretty rad. I mean, I guess I get why some people, a lot of people, don't like the protagonist design, but come on, don't clump her in there, she's awesome. The trailer also briefly shows a few environments, this weird hot air balloon arena, and a fight with this awesome looking armored dragon with cool hair. And that's it. Then comes the new title, Dragon Quest XII, Beyond Dreams. Alright, so that's the recap out of the way. Overall, I'm a little bit mixed on what I've seen. At the very least, I've got some opinions. Let's rewind 5 years. We get this cool little logo reveal with a subtitle that translates to The Flames of Fate. Perfect title. It goes right in line with the alliteration every Dragon Quest game has had up to this point. Chapters of the Chosen, Realms of Revelation, Seeds of Salvation, Flames of Fate. But now it's Beyond Dreams? I mean, I know I'm nitpicking here, but couldn't they have come up with something a little more consistent with the rest of the games? Well, anyways, the only info they gave us back then was that this game would be heading in a darker direction than the rest of the series, and that they would be overhauling the combat. And that's essentially all the info we've been holding on to for the last 5 years. I like how in the 40th anniversary livestream, they started off with a little montage showing the 11 mainline titles with the release years front and center. And man, the gulf of time between releases just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We went from like a Dragon Quest game a year, and then it became 5 years between releases. Now, in 2026, we wait 5 years just between trailers. By the time 12 comes out, it'll have been over a decade since 11. AAA game development being an absolute plague aside, the game also spent years in development hell and had to be rebooted, which helps explain the half-decade of silence. You'd think after 40 years they'd have the art of making Dragon Quest games down to a science, but evidently not. Remember, it wasn't just the tone of the game that was being changed, but also the gameplay. They said they were overhauling the combat, which sounds to me like they were getting rid of traditional turn-based combat and moving towards something more action-oriented. I mean, sounds like a great idea to me. Take the beloved, tried and true, honed and balanced combat system you've spent decades sanding down to absolute perfection and throw it in the trash for something literally nobody asked for, probably because some out-of-touch executive said that turn-based is dead or something. I swear they tried the same nonsense of Dragon Quest IX, and they had a course correct then too. Only that was a DS game, not a big budget modern console game, so it didn't set them back years like it did now. Of course, this is all just speculation. They said they were overhauling the battle system, but they didn't necessarily say they weren't making it turn-based. And now, in 2026, they haven't said or shown anything regarding the battle system, so for all we know, whatever changes they made might still be implemented in the modern build. Or maybe whatever they were doing back then just didn't work and they thought of something else new. Or maybe we're just getting the classic battle system back after all. Only time will tell. Whatever the case, something wasn't working, and they screwed up so bad that they had to make the undoubtedly very tough decision to just restart development. Sounds eerily familiar. Oh no, not that game! Wait a minute. Beyond Dreams? Metroid Prime 4? Beyond? And there's a motorcycle in this game too! And a desert? I swear if I see one green crystal in this game, I'm gonna lose it! How about those character designs then? Why do they seem so out of place? The world is about as Dragon Questy as you can get, but I think most people could tell right away that those characters were a little off. The main character has those tired eyes and a dour expression, his shirt is all torn up, and he's sporting that rebellious punk hairstyle. He looks far different from the standard Dragon Quest protagonist. And then there's the biker girl. I mean, that descriptor says it all, doesn't it? Most Dragon Quest girls are dressed up in some sort of medieval-inspired garb, but along comes this woman with a big contemporary-looking scarf, no sleeves, a tattoo, and a spunky, messy haircut. Look at these two. They look like a couple of no-good-nicks, ne'er-do-wells, ragamuffins! Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii is over here more or less talking about how they're doing away with the dark tone of the initial build and leading towards something bright and exciting, a complete 180 of the game's original concept. And these very untraditional character designs are clearly a holdover from that original concept. People have wondered what this supposed dark tone really entailed. Was it going to be full grimdark? Was it going to go the way of Final Fantasy XVI to become the first M-rated Dragon Quest game? I didn't think it was going to go that far. I mean, Dragon Quest games often get really dark, so I figured 12 would lean more into those more somber moments. But after seeing these character designs, they look like they were designed for something similar to Mad Max, or even the designer Akira Toriyama's own Sandland. They look scrappy, like maybe they live in some impoverished land or something. So rather than a dark fantasy like Game of Thrones, maybe Dragon Quest XII is going to be more roguish and slummy, like, I don't know, Fallout or Tatooine or something. The biker chick looks to be some sort of mechanic type that deals with vehicles and robotics, which supports the theory that maybe they were leaning towards a grimy sci-fi wasteland type of story. I mean, I don't really know. At this point, I'm just throwing my crazy theories out there. Whatever the case, I think it's pretty clear that these characters were designed to be part of a world very different from the one that we're getting now. So if they're remaking the game basically from scratch, why didn't they change the character designs also? Well, that's easy. Akira Toriyama is sadly no longer alive to overhaul the designs. And considering how integral his art style has been to the franchise's identity since the very beginning, and with this being the final game he worked on, a swan song for his contributions to the series, there was absolutely no way they were going to get someone else to redesign the characters, or even to touch up his work post-mortem. After all, it's disrespectful both to his legacy and to series fans. But you know what? Maybe they should have got someone to redesign the characters after all. Maybe not entirely original designs, but touch-ups that make the characters fit the traditional aesthetic the game is going for now, rather than the darker game Toriyama originally designed the characters for. All that said, I still like the designs. They don't really bother me either way. But as they are, they'll always remind me of that what if. What if their initial plans did work out, and we got that version of the game that they originally envisioned? I adore Dragon Quest. It might just be my favorite ongoing video franchise, one of the few series left that has still yet to disappoint me. Beyond Dreams looks like more of exactly what I love. When Dragon Quest XI came out back in 2018, I was growing increasingly burnt out on video games and just life in general. But playing 11 reinvigorated me. It reminded me of why I play video games in the first place. It made me feel feelings I haven't felt since I played the games that made me want to keep playing games. It truly was an echo of an elusive age. Now, all these years later, and those feelings of burnout are back with an unforgiving vengeance. And I know, if there's any future game release out there that can possibly reignite my soul, it's Dragon Quest XII Beyond Dreams. After all, the game looks to be another good old-fashioned Dragon Quest, but I'll always wonder about that other Dragon Quest XII, the Flames of Fate, the road not taken. It could have been something bold, something significantly different, rather than the safe, the tried and true. It didn't work out, so I'm glad they changed course, and I'm sure Beyond Dreams will be amazing, but what if? Honestly, I was ready for something different, so yeah, I guess I can't help but feel a little bit disappointed in that regard. But you know what? More than any other feeling, I'm just excited. It's Dragon Quest XII! We've waited so long, and look at it! It looks great, and I'm sure it's gonna be great! Please don't let this video age poorly!